Hello and welcome back to another video. Here we are once again. It's 60 Hz all die, and this time it's the chance for the Super Nintendo to be destroyed. As you can see, I've kind of jumped the gun a bit and I've already stripped this out, but I am a little bit concerned. There's a lot of screws, there's a spring thing, there's a ribbon cable. It's sort of a little bit beyond what I've done in the past. Very little soldering experience, to be honest. I have done a 50-60 Hz Saturn mod, have fixed a Scalextric Crossroads, and have just resoldered some switches to a Sega Mega Drive. But looking at some of these legs on these chipsets that I've got to lift, this is definitely going to be a lot more difficult in my opinion. But we'll see how we get on, and hopefully I'll get back to you at the next stage. So here we are in the living room, just following the instructions on the laptop there. Got the soldering iron plugged in, and it's not going too bad so far. I've drilled the switches in, so I've stuck them at the back of my Super Nintendo. And I've just done the first bit of soldering, which is the resistor. So I'm hoping I bought the right size resistor. It looks absolutely massive compared to one on the photo. But, I'm sure we're about to find out. And yeah, now it's time to start lifting some pins. So it's getting a little bit dark in here, may need to bring out the working light, but that's actually the 5-volt feed. Now I've opted for a little bit of a thicker cable, did have a bit laying around, and I've just got to get that soldered onto there, and then we're going to sort out the ground. Here we are, I've got the ground and the 5-volt feed in now, so they're both going to the switches. Got the resistor in place. The loop ground there between the switches, so all that's left really is to lift the pins, which is probably the worst part. But quite pleased with this. I think as time goes by, the more you do it, the better you do become at soldering, so quite pleased. So here we are back again, it's the next day. PAL Super Nintendo, 60 Hz all die. How did we get on? Well, unfortunately it's not good news. It's not good news at all. It was going so well, and this is all down to my own stupid error and my own ignorance really. Instead of following the rules, or certainly the guidelines to doing this job, I thought I'd get a little bit cocky and presume I was a lot better than I actually am. So as you can see, the switch, I was quite happy with the switches and all the soldering there. Yes, it's a bit heavy duty, yes the wire could power a house, but you know, you get the general gist. And this fin, I think it's called Kainai wire or something, that was going awfully well. But where I got cocky was, I lifted this pin here on the lockout chip, the leg there, soldered to it no problem. Lifted leg 30 on that chip there for the 50-60 Hz mod, soldered it no problem. Lifted this leg here, and rather than being sensible and doing what I was being told and just putting tape over all of the legs, other than the lifted one obviously, and just soldering it to it then, I splashed solder everywhere. So in my panic I heated it up and tried to remove it with a solder sucker, and I'm sure a professional would have sorted this out, but in my, you know, sort of moment, I actually snapped the leg and there was nothing left to solder to, so I presume it's pretty much bollocks. Obviously a very amateur mistake, but you know, it's all about learning, it's all a learning experience, and obviously I'm either going to buy a 60 Hz Super Nintendo and be done with it, you know, ideally a Super Famicom, or I'm just going to get another PAL Super Nintendo and have another go. So that's it really, not really a lot else to add. Well, thanks for watching, hopefully upload some more videos soon. Tell you now, loom bands, they're so 2014. What you've got to get for this year is a nice PCB on your wrist. That's what it's all about.